Hello gents, welcome back. This may be a short one, you'll have to excuse me. The Mozzies are fucking ripping into me today, but let's see what we can do. So today I wanted to discuss how scarcity is directly tied to the value of things. And the more scarce something is, the harder it is to attain, the more expensive it's going to be and the higher price point you can charge. For example, look, let's just take something easy, air, for example, air. It's fucking easily attainable. I was watching Shark Tank the other day and they were trying to sell air canisters. And all of them were like, mate, are you on the beers? Like, what are you doing here? Like, it's air. Let's be for real, mate. Pull your head in. And so anyway, it was like, oh, well, why is that silly? Why is that a silly idea? Because it's so accessible. It's so attainable. It's not difficult to get. Therefore, who's going to buy it? And now you take that same product, air, packaging air. What's an environment that's going to be difficult in? How can I raise the value of this air? Where is it hard to find air? Well, it's hard to find air underwater. It's hard to find air in space. So what can you do? Space is a bit tricky. It's going to cost you a bunch and you're going to have to know some really crazy fuckers to get it up there. So let's start with underwater. What can you do? Scuba diving. They're going to pay a metric shit ton to buy some of your air, stick it in a tube, put it on their backs and start breaststroking around at 50 meters deep. There you go. Boom, sail. Repeat business, recurring revenue. That exact same product, just packaged slightly differently and offered to a different market where it has value. And they say the same thing about bottled water. You know, like bottled water, you buy it here, you buy it there, but you buy it on the airplane and it's all of a sudden it's like triple the price. Why? Because it's harder to attain and they know you've got no other choice. If you say no to the water, what else you got to do? You got no other choice. So they have the leverage in that scenario. So how can you create leverage for yourself and your product? There's a fucking Mozzie on the lens there, but how can you create that demand and create that leverage in your own life for whatever particular product it is? How can you stand out? How can you be that interesting individual? And here's another thing, that the marketplace, it doesn't care about any excuses or where you started from or what's your handicap. It's black and white. The market rewards competency. And it doesn't lie to you. Like, it's numbers. The numbers don't lie, my friends. The numbers don't lie. And it was interesting because I was having this thought the other day of, plotting. I'm always thinking, what can I be doing more? How can I emulate what previous successful businessmen have done before me? How people have gone from my situation to just fucking running the world, running the show, running the companies, driving the cars. Because that's all we want. We're simple creatures, us lads. We want a nice girl. Some want more than others. We want a nice car. We want a nice house. We want some freedom. We want to throw some punches, eat some good food, laugh with the boys. That's all we want. It's quite simple. And the more money you have, the more of that you can do. So for me, it's like, it's no-brainer. No-brainer. Who in their right mind would rather... What's some bullshit hobby? I don't know. But my hobby at the minute is making some cash. And I'm working on these two business models right now, which funnily enough go hand in hand. I've only just started filling out the second, which I'm only doing because it's much simpler now that I've got the infrastructure built out. If it was another headache and I'd have to build up an ecosystem, I'd go, nah. Because that narrowed focus is essential. But it's opened another door for me there, so that's quite exciting. It's keeping me on my toes. But that's why I'm thinking business, thinking, what are these guys doing? And I had a thought, like you see all these guys reading books. Like they always talk about, I read this book, it was really good. I read this book, it was really good. And I had this thought that, is it the book itself? Because I've read a bunch of these success, finance books, and you really only take a couple of nuggets out of them. Like you can condense it into a YouTube, which is what I do. I look at the book name, and I search it on YouTube and I find a YouTube breakdown of that book because it goes into a bit more detail and breaks down the key points. And there's really only two to five at max, like real good nuggets within a book. And I thought, is it the book itself or is it their ability to sit down by themselves, dedicate time out of their day to a monotonous task, which they know is going to make them better? not really thinking about the outcome of, is this going to make me all of a sudden Prince Ali? No. But is this going to make me a little bit better? And it's that ability to have that impulse control where you can get through the page and not reach for your phone. Every time that notification goes off, your ears don't prick up. You're able to have that focus. And I thought that's very interesting. And I'd say more so than the context of that book, it's the ability to sit down and dedicate to one specific task, focus, and realize I may not see the results now. I don't know when this situation is going to arise in the future, but I know that this is going to make me better. I know this is going to help me improve. And that is the same as the gym, right? This sucks. This is painful. I don't want to do this at 5 a.m. But I know that this little effort I'm doing, this focused time block, is going to make me better tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going to see the results, but I know that they're there. I know it's going to come and I know it's going to show face eventually. So every one of you boys who's going to the gym, why can't you think the same thing about reading books? Why can't you think the same thing about teaching yourself finance on YouTube? There's a bloke called, I think it's Finance with Nick, and he just runs you through the playbook of everything finance. That's what I'm learning at the minute. Learning about property, learning about little real estate trick. If any of you lads get into real estate, doesn't matter how much you're earning, you get the longest year mortgage. Like let's say you can go 15, 20, 30 year mortgage. Always get the 30. It's going to reduce your weekly reinvestment. And what you can do is on top of that weekly reinvestment, you can add an additional investment into that pot. And what happens is on those additional investments, that goes straight to the principal. You're not paying any interest. So what ends up happening is you can pay your mortgage off in half the time if that's something you want to do. And that is, especially, you get some new tenants in there, you run the same play, boom. But I would never have known that if I didn't just sit down and watch some boring as fuck video that I thought, hey, this has potential to make me smarter, help me learn something, and make me better overall. Now, I was speaking about this with a friend, this concept, and I said, oh, yep, we were playing a bit of tennis. He went home, and I said, yeah, what are you going to do after this? And he's like, oh, I don't know, I've kind of got a free schedule for the rest of the afternoon. I was like, why don't you read this book? And then he started telling me about his ADHD. And he's like, yeah, I'd like to read it, but I've just got, my ADHD is quite bad. And I was kind of like, who gives a fuck? Like, that's just unfortunate that you've got this condition, if that's what you want to label yourself as. But that's just life, that's the game. And like going back to what I said, the marketplace doesn't care. You either get the knowledge, or you sit on your ass and I've got ADHD, I can't read, or I can't sit and focus on this task. The marketplace doesn't care. You either do it or you don't. And it's the same thing, I'll open up to something about this. I've got asthma, I got fucked over with meningitis or one of those crazy things at like 2 years old and it fucked my lungs up. I've not once mentioned that to somebody in the midst of a battle, in the midst of a fight, in the midst of a rugby game. I have... Oh, you wouldn't fucking believe this thing's turned off on me. So the first cut, I don't usually cut the videos, but the first ever cut of a video will be this one. But anyway, I think I was talking about asthma and shit right before I cut out the video there. But what I was saying is I've never used that as an excuse. You play the cards you're dealt, honestly, boys, because the marketplace doesn't care and the marketplace doesn't reward excuses. Everyone loves to cling on to whatever excuse they can, whether they've got a limp so that all of a sudden they're like, I can only wear like blue jeans or whatever. Like if you just crack on, you'll get things done. You need to elevate to that certain level. For example, I was speaking about my fight. Do you think my opponent gives a fuck that I've got asthma? Do you think the crowd gives a fuck that I've got asthma when I step up on there? No, they're going to see, did he get knocked out? Did he get knocked out himself? Like, they really couldn't care less. You have to elevate yourself, because what's the alternative? Sit around and do fuck all. No. You can either be the man with the excuses or the man with the results. Identify your weaknesses. Are you someone who's, when it comes to Instagram, you end up doing a bit of doom scrolling? Are you someone who's like, maybe women get the best of you. You're always chasing the girls around, or whatever's your vice. The pokies. Fuck, if it's the pokies, I feel sorry for you. That's rock bottom, lads. Honestly. But identify your weaknesses and limit them. Simple as. If it is Instagram that holds you back, there's plenty of apps like Opal which block it for a certain amount of hours. But optimize your environment to give you the best chance at success. If that's the case, like something I've done recently, I go and work in the library. I don't have to, but I choose to go and put myself in that environment because I go sit down, put my desk up, get my mouse out, and I can just hammer work out in that environment. I don't know what it is, but I operate very good in those sorts of environments when I can see an element of competition as well. Plus, you want to look like the G. You want to look like the guy who's making money, who's hustling in front of everyone. You want to be that guy because it's direct competition. You go, if all of a sudden you want to pick up your phone, you go like ting, 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 everyone around you's hustling. Everyone around you's making money. Now, look, they're probably just uni students, but how does that benefit me if I'm like, oh, good luck on your test, buddy? Doesn't benefit me. But if I'm thinking like I'm in a space of entrepreneurs, everyone's like working hard, making money, that's only going to inspire me to do more and just pump out stuff, just pump out work and just start drilling it. So there's that area. And look, here's something I want to say and something I picked up on in the library. I was sat there and I was looking around. I was looking around at everyone. I was like, look, you're all hustling here on a Sunday and this is great to see. And I was like, why do people stop doing this? Why do you study so hard for uni to do a test? Then you'll go in the workplace and you'll just accept that's life. You'll accept life can't get any better. You won't try start a business. You won't try step out and whatever, like start doing a new service or start selling a new product, some random shit. Like people will just accept their existence and not put in those extra hard yards. And it was quite mind-blowing to me because I was probably one of the older people in there, 23. It wasn't any 25, 30-year-olds in there. I guess by 30, you'd hope you've got your own office or something. But even still, put yourself back in that environment for success. And don't just throw in the towel at a certain point because you never know when things are going to take off. And it's crazy, boys. It really is that hockey stick growth. Like I've been scavenging around, keeping my eyes open, waiting for opportunity. And that's the thing. You've got to keep your eyes open to opportunity. Because if you don't, you won't see it when it arises. Like there's plenty of times where things have popped up and I'm going, oh, yeah, whatever, not the right time. But now I've been presented with this golden opportunity. Now I'm running 2 businesses simultaneously. I've only started the second one today from my 5-hour work block in the library today, where I stumbled across this additional service and business model that I can supply to service-based businesses, which is quite remarkable. And I only did that because I was just sat in a chair thinking, planning ideas, writing shit down in my notebook, giving myself that time to work on that, to develop something that's valuable in the marketplace. And I got that through sitting down, doing something monotonous, something that wasn't particularly enjoyable, but I knew it was going to make me better and I knew it was going to improve me. So that's all we're doing today, lads. That's all. I'm sorry it cut out. My first video was fucking heat. It was so good. But unfortunately it cut out and now I don't know at what point I'm repeating myself. Do you know what I mean? As in with the first half. So I apologize in advance. But there we go. There's another one. Thanks for your time, lads.